Releasing on August 15th is Agents of Mayhem from the creators of Saints Row. Pre-order at the affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and my God, the Young Turks will never, ever go away, will they? They're just never going to go away. Now, if you follow the YouTube commentator community, the online independent news media that there is on this platform, you know of the Young Turks. You know of Cenk Uygur, the great brown buffalo, and all of the nonsense that generally tends to stem from the organization that denies, at least until recently, that the Armenian genocide ever took place, even though they named their organization after the group that committed said atrocity. But here we are, looking at an article where they're going to raise 20 million from Jeffrey Katzenberger's Winder Co., Greycroft, 3L Capital, and more. So basically, the Young Turks got a massive influx of $20 million to expand their organizations. This, my friends, is pretty damn sad, because the Young Turks are not about actual news at this point. They're about activism, and they're masquerading as journalists, and you cannot do that. That is unethical. But of course, Cenk doesn't care, because now he's got $20 million to do with as he pleases. So it says here that the parent company of progressive digital news network, the Young Turks, co-founded by online host and political activist Cenk Uygur, has closed a $20 million funding round. Political activist, right? Notice how it says the digital news network, but it doesn't say that Cenk himself is a journalist, that Cenk himself is a news anchor, but that he's an online host. I would like to argue that I believe I have more ethical credibility than Cenk Uygur of the freaking Young Turks. Going on to say that while the TYT network currently counts 70 staffers and 30 freelancers, Uygur told the Wall Street Journal that new funds will serve to double the size of the company's newsroom and business operations to roughly 200 total staffers. In addition to hiring more journalists, TYT is seeking to build out its ad sales team to bolster paid subscription options. New funds will also be allocated to expanding marketing initiatives and strengthening community engagement. Basically, what this tells me is they're looking for ways to further finance their agenda. They're looking for ways to further finance probably the Justice Democrats, because that is the side of it that they're working on in terms of pushing their political agenda. Now, here's the thing. Full disclosure, the Justice Democrats are kind of like Bernie-crats. And as a person who supported Bernie Sanders, they're kind of more aligned with me in terms of political views and everything. So just letting you guys know about that one. But the thing is you cannot be a newsman and an activist and use your company as a kind of a funding area for that. You cannot use it as you can't campaign there. It just drives me up the wall. So it says here that the round was led by investment firm 3L Capital, with participation from Gravestuff Partners, EE Ventures, and Jeffrey Katzenberg's recently launched Winder Co. holding company. Katzenberg also, I believe, either founded or co-founded DreamWorks, to give you just an idea. So if you want to know, like, just in terms of like the political mindset of this person, extremely left wing. So you can very much see what political ideologues are backing TYT, which makes sense because they're like, we're the progressive network, even though we're actually not progressive at all, but really just like a wing of the left-wing party, which is seeking to develop television-like content for mobile consumption. And again, mobile consumption is a key thing to look at here. As part of the deal, 3L's co-founder and managing partner Steve Cholo will join TYT's board, or Sean Colo. And maybe Sean will bring a little bit of rationality, or at least, I don't know, like ethics to the board? Probably not. But the thing to remember here, though, is that the Young Turks, you know, they've got over 3 million subscribers. They pull in lots of views a day and everything else. And so they very much have a presence on YouTube. And just recently, Cenk was with Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, like having a conversation about YouTube and everything else. So they're protected. The Young Turks as an entity on YouTube is a protected class, even though they've been called out for all the crap that they spew constantly. And they're probably happy as hell that the apocalypse happened, because as you can tell, it hasn't impacted them. They have nothing to worry about. They continuously shill their nonsense and ideologies down the throats of unsuspecting viewers, and they've got $20 million in the bank. $20 million. It says the TYT's new valuation was not disclosed. The $20 million round represents TYT's first mainstream raise. Gee, I wonder why. Probably because they're so anti-Donald Trump, and right now that's a big factor in all of this, especially with the adpocalypse. In 2014, the millennial-leaning network signed... Millennial-leaning network? How do you have a millennial-leaning network that is led by Cenk freaking Uygur? Even Anna Kasparian is not considered a millennial, not to the extent of which they were probably hoping, even though when I saw her at VidCon, she was wearing a romper. That was a very odd sight. Dave Cullen actually got a picture with her wearing the romper, but you can't see down from here. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the network signed a $4 million convertible note and raised another $4.25 million from non-institutional investors the following year, reports the Journal. Last year, TYT announced a $2 million crowdfunding campaign to hire 4 investigative teams, which it successfully surpassed. And that's why it got the $20 million, in my opinion. It got the $20 million, in my opinion, because it raised the $2 million. It's very similar to the mindset. Look at Jeffrey Katzenberg, right? DreamWorks guy. Okay, so he's working in terms of, he wants, like let's say a movie company. Look at Veronica Mars and Super Troopers. Both movies went to Kickstarter to raise $2 million in order to show the parent company, in Veronica Mars's case, Warner Brothers, in Super Troopers' case, Fox, that their content is valued enough by the people in order for them to further invest the money into. When TYT raised $2 million, they hired Mr. Talcum X himself, Sean King. Again, another activist masquerading as a journalist. That's one of the biggest problems with this network, in my opinion, is the mere fact that these guys they're masquerading as these things. They're not journalists. They're people like me with just way less credibility and a lot more freaking money. Saying here that the past few years have been wildly successful for TYT, but we started to realize that we're just at the tip of the iceberg. Uygur, who also serves as the company's CEO, said in a statement, "We perfected news and commentary that appeals to the highly desirable, young, cord-cutting audience to the tune of 200 million monthly views. In addition to its flagship, the Young Turks political brand, TYT operates various news, sports, lifestyles, entertainment channels that, all told, have surpassed 7 billion lifetime views." Yeah, that's totally just jerking themselves off. Let's take a quick look here at their social blade. Oh, look. Okay, so yeah, they got a grade of A. They're the 765th most subscribed channel. And just okay, look at here. Just look at the last 2 weeks of their views. Okay, their video views are 2 million a day, which is good. They've got 3.3, almost 3.4 million subscribers. So that's actually really good. So you can't deny that view-wise are doing well. But look at the growth. Look at the growth here. All right, for a company that's doing better than ever, their views are pretty much like maintaining. Okay, some days are good, some days it drops almost by 500,000 and everything else. But their subscriber count, it's not that mine's any better, but I mean, like, this is a small subscriber count here. This is not very good. And if you come down here and you look at their monthly views, so in March of 2016 they had 106 million views, all right, and then they had 54 million views July of 2017, and you can start to see even like they've been dropping. Look at their sub count here. Their sub counts they're going down. Yeah, they're pulling in 39, 40, but this is just dropping. Something happened in March of last year that spiked them, but for the most part, they've just been dropping down. So the Young Turks needs this money probably in order to keep their company afloat. Not to say they're not earning good money. It says up here their estimation is about $2.6 million a year. in earnings from YouTube. But I mean, realistically, even if this was running with like, none of the other sponsorship deals they clearly have, you're looking at somewhere in between. So $1 to $1.3 million a year. And that's paying for 70 staffers and 30 freelance journalists, as well as paying for office rentals and everything else that they have to do inside of their organization. So $1 million to $1.3 million a year is not going to cover those costs. And yes, they might raise a few million extra a year, but that's still going to be covering all the expenses of running this network. So this $20 million sounds like a company that's doing very well, getting a nice boost, nice cash influx. But in reality, they're dwindling. In reality, they're dropping, and it's proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the analytics. And as a result of that, who knows until for how much longer they'll actually be around. And I'm hoping that on the time that the Young Turks eventually do either splinter or close, that YouTube realizes that, online content creators such as myself and others actually do provide a valuable service to this network, which is we give you the same kind of news, but with way more ethics and a way more even-keeled spin.